let's jump right in. The cell is where we're going to start. There's three basic tenets of cell theory. Living things come from cells. It is the basic unit, and cells come from one another. Eukaryotic cells in particular have this rough ribosome-covered endoplasmic reticulum, which performs translation, and also a smooth ER that makes fats. Materials here will later go to be packaged and modified in Golgi apparatus. Any unwanted materials are broken down in the lysosome. Surrounding these organelles are some intermediate filaments, which help with cell integrity. Other filaments here include tiny microfilaments, which might sound familiar because of your friend actin in the muscle is one of them, and also microtubules, which are some thick tubulin structures in cilia and flagella. On a larger level, there are different flavors of cells, such as epithelial or connective tissue. Epithelial cells come in cuboidal, which is just cube-shaped, columnar, which is column-shaped, and squamous, which is flattish, cell flavors. Connective tissues are support structures, and they can secrete other support structures like collagen or elastin. Alright, prokaryotic cells are kind of interesting too, so let's explore them. Archaea are kind of the wild card here. They can be extremophiles similar to eukaryotes in evolutionary origin. They began translation with methionine, and they also connect their histones to DNA. The ways that they're similar to bacteria are that they can undergo binary fission, have one circular chromosome, and just the overall structure is pretty much the same. Alright, now let's learn some shapes. Foci are spheres. Remember this by the little circle O. Bacilli are rods, like the rod like L in their name. Spirili are spirals, just like their name. But no matter the shape, not sure if that's true or not, they can be anaerobes or aerobes. These can be obligate, facultative, meaning they can't be either, or aerotolerant, which means that they can't use oxygen, but they're not harmed by it either. Some bacteria are gram-positive, turning purple when stained, and if gram-negative, they'll turn pink. One final note about these are that prokaryotes have 70S ribosomes. They are pro, quote-unquote, because they have the lucky number 7, while eukaryotes have the 80S ribosomes. Prokaryotes, in general, can change through genetic recombination, usually in a new environment. Transformation is when the bacteria absorbs some random material like toxic candy from the environment. Conjugation is like mating, but for bacteria. And transduction involves viral transmission of a new material. Think of a viral rabid duck to remember it, like the duck in transduction. Transposons are materials that kind of move themselves or transpose themselves into or out of the genome. So once adapting to this crazy environment, these prokaryotes go through a series of phases. The first is the lag phase, which is a slow climb up which is a little bit of growth before exponentially experiencing a ton of growth. They hit this stationary phase where the materials are all used up before the environment becomes insufficient, leading to a death phase. Our final topic are viruses, which are a completely different, non-living, scary category. They make babies called virions and have syringe-like tail sheaths and tail fibers for recognition. One type of RNA virus is called positive sense, because they can directly translate their genome when inserted, while negative sense needs to synthesize the complementary RNA strand first. Another type called retroviruses, they go through this extra step where they need to synthesize DNA from the RNA, which goes into the genome. After infection, it'll go through this productive cycle, which could be known as a lytic cycle if it fills up the cells with virion babies and lyses it to explode. Otherwise, it can be stealthy, wait in a lysogenic cycle, hence the longer name for memorization, and later lyse the cell. Other infectious dangers to your life include protein misfolding prions, which are also proteins, and viroids, which are zombie RNAs that essentially infect just plants mostly. Remember the difference by noting the D in viroid as opposed to viron. Like the first letter in DNA which is similar to RNA. Alright, that's it for right now. I'll see you guys next time.